Hello, and welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. This show is dedicated to helping business owners dramatically improve their bottom line with our weekly profit maximizing tips that you can use now. I'm your host and coach, Wayne Belisle. I'm also the founder of a local CPA firm that works with small businesses to help them increase their profits and reduce their taxes. Keep more of it from the IRS. I do that with our profit coaching programs and our tax planning systems, which has saved my clients over $7.5 million over the last 5 or 6 years. I've lost track, all legally. Like I said, I love my clients, but don't wish to share a jail cell with them. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 25 ways that I use to turn time into money. All right. The idea is time is money. All right. You don't want to waste it. We've talked about it a couple times over the last couple weeks. I think I skipped a week or two in there somewhere. So it's been our main topic is talking about owner's time for about a month now. And now let's get into some. That was the strategy and why. Now we'll get into some techniques that I use. All right. But first, today's support for today's show is brought to you by. Let me get it out of the glare. Yeah, probably in front of my face is best. Sorry about that. No. All right, keep it tipped. Brought to you by Profit Maximizer Publishing, which published my book, The 90-Day Profit Reset, which shows you how to gain your independence from reduced cash flow, shrinking margins, and evaporating customer base. This book will help you. It's filled with chapter after chapter and idea after idea about how to turn your business around and reset your profits from red to black in 90 days or less. Truthfully, even if you're making money, this is well worth it. There's a lot of great information in there, that I've used over the last 40 years, basically helping business owners. Look, uh, I've had other CPAs ask me, how do you find the time to run a CPA firm and do, write a book, keep a blog, and create consulting products, and then the videos you do and all your social media. How do you have time for it? Well, the truth is, learn like everyone else the hard way. One day I woke up and realized I didn't control my own time. Everyone else did. Being in the service business, I assumed that it was my duty to drop everything and answer every single phone call, email, or walk in question. I thought this would help me grow my business. In truth, since I didn't value my time, neither did my clients. As a CPA, all I can sell is my knowledge and my time. They come together, and my experience, but that's knowledge, okay? And I had to start treating both like the valuable resources they were. Over the years, I've read tons of time management books, and I can honestly say that most are useless without the proper motivation. You got to be willing to do it. Until you, the business owner, and until I, the business owner, decide it is time to take control of your time, others will continue to decide how you invest your time. See, so it really comes down to you making a decision. That okay, one warning: don't be rude about it. There's no need to do that. I found that explaining why you do something when the customer, client, patient first is hires you is the key. I start the relationship by explaining that the only way I can do my best work is by controlling interruptions. I only return phone calls once a day. I only respond to emails at the end of the day or at the beginning. I do it once, usually in the morning if it's busy. Then I go on to tell them if they have the emergency, the best thing to do is to speak with my assistant and relay the message. Nowadays, I give them my cell phone, tell them to text me. I'll call them as soon as I can, but I won't interrupt what I'm doing. All right. So here's my favorite and most valuable time saving tips. They're in no particular order, just the way I wrote them down. All right. Schedule blocks of times to get projects done. Don't just schedule meetings, schedule time to actually do the work. Block out 4 hours here, 4 hours there, 5 hours here, 8 hours. Block out a whole day if you have to. Say no to drop ins. All right. Just say no to somebody who says, do you have a minute or one quick question? We know it's never just a minute and it's really just one quick question. Just say no. Tell them you're on a tight deadline and that they will have to set up an appointment and be firm. But also, if you must talk to them now, set a time limit. Okay, if it's something really simple, it's like, John, great to see you. I'm up against the deadline. Can we do this in 2 minutes? Can we do this in 2 to 3 minutes, or do we need to set an appointment? That's how I usually handle it. Excuse me. And people understand they dropped in without an appointment, and you need to train them. Another thing to do is leave the office. When you have a project that must get done, go home, go to the coffee shop, go to another office. Just go. Trust me, the world gets along fine without you for a few hours. And turn your phone off, which is the next one. Don't answer the phone. Really, it's not against the law. Okay. A ringing phone is an invitation to speak. Just decline this time. Again, this is nothing that the rest of the. Sorry. Anyway, my voice is gone. There's nothing that the rest of the world can't handle if you don't answer the call. If it's from your kids, have them text you a code saying it's important. Again, there better be flames or blood involved, is what I would tell the kids. Look, nowadays on my phone, if somebody calls me, you can set where you text message them back. Can I call you back? Or I'm busy right now. You can even create your own. 5, don't check email or social media during scheduled work time. I check my emails early in the morning or late at night or when I'm waiting in line somewhere. No exceptions. I check my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn accounts once a week at night using something I used to use Flipboard. I don't do that anymore. It did a decent job, but I fell out of the habit of doing it. But it would gather everything together. I think it disconnected one time and I just didn't spend the time to do it. Create a VIP list for who can interrupt you. Obviously, this is a list of people who are you're willing to accept interruptions from. Who's on the VIP list? Well, my wife. I've been married, it's going to be 45 years this December. This doesn't happen by being stupid and ignoring my wife's call. So she's on it. My kids, the clients who pay me big dollars, that's it. There's a handful of clients. All right. Number 7, delegate the answering of all but the most important calls. The week before my last deadline, I checked my voicemail and I had 19 messages waiting. Let's assume that each one takes 5 minutes to listen and make notes about. That's an extra 10 minutes, and then an extra 10 minutes to handle the problem. That's nearly 5 hours that can just away. All right. And this happens most days during our busy season. So be brutal. Redirect as many calls as you can to your staff. Answer them with emails if you can. Start and stop meetings on time. Don't be late and don't tolerate meetings that run late. If you have a meeting with someone that's running late, set a timer. If you've allocated a half hour, that's all you can spend. If they come in 20 minutes late, let them know that you only have 10 minutes left and let's get started. Remember, if they don't value your time, who will? Number 9, prepare in advance. Don't show up to a meeting without being prepared. Have an online outline of the problem and have a plan of action to solve it. At a bare minimum, you should make sure you know what the meeting is about. If you have a major project, use a mind map program to help you plan it out in advance. This way, you have a much better idea of what it really will take to finish the project, and you'll be able to explain it to a client. Number 10, don't answer your employees' questions. That sounds weird, huh? You hired and trained competent employees, didn't you? If you didn't train them, or hire new ones. Now, treat them like trained, competent employees and refuse to treat them like children. Make them come up with a possible solution before they come to you with a problem. You want them to think about things through and find a way to solve them without you. Don't make their jobs easy by being their resident guru. You want them to learn. All right, yes. Tell them what you expect them to come see you on and set that up. Minimize meetings. There's no greater waste of time in a business world than the meeting. If it's not going to make you money, don't take the meeting. Simple as that. Don't meet with a prospective client until they've been screened. Don't meet with a sales rep unless you ask for the meeting. Don't meet with the person who wants to network. Before you schedule any meeting, ask yourself if a conference call or email would work just as well. Warning, this doesn't include your customers. You should meet with them often, especially your best customers. 12, prioritize lists. Use a prioritized list to track your work. Put everything that needs to be done on a list and forget about it. I use a program for it. All right, we have a program. We can put it all in there and forget about it. Review the list when you schedule your day or do work for that customer or client. But first, assign every item on your list a priority number based on what is important for reaching your goals. Don't let others set your priorities. Ignore unimportant things. You will be amazed how often someone else can handle a task. If it can't be ignored, then delay it. Use a tickler file. There are a lot of organization programs out there. The trick is to use them. The most successful person I know uses a simple folder with slots numbered from 1 to 31. Believe it or not, I don't know if they still sell them, but he has an old one. Anytime he has something to do, he puts a note in that day's number. For example, if the phone bill is due on the 20th of the month, puts the bill in slot number 20. Yeah, it's low tech, but it works for him. And that's the key. Find something that works for you. Doing everything at the last minute is a great way to waste time. 14, eliminate travel as much as possible. Go to meetings, Skype, what else is out there? Google Hangouts. I'm forgetting a Zoom call. Yeah, boy, my brain just wouldn't come up with that one. All right. Our clients really hate to pay us for travel time. Explain to them that you're going to charge them for travel time. These programs have allowed us to have meetings, do trainings, answer bookkeeping questions without having to leave our office. I once had to drive 30 minutes one way just to answer a client's software questions. Once I saw the problem, it only took me 5 minutes to solve it. Now, all these 5 minute appointments really only take 5 minutes. Block time for yourself. Make appointments with yourself. We all do a good job of keeping appointments with others, but we don't treat ourselves as important. When I want to get this, when I wanted to get the blog done, or when I was doing the magazine or the book, I put the prep time on my calendar. When I'm creating a new product, I schedule it in my calendar. I don't break this appointment for any reason at all. All right. I wouldn't break it for my main customer. Why should I not be as important as my top customers? Group like projects together. It takes all of us time to get up to speed when we shift from one type of work to another. That's why I only return phone calls at one time. I review tax returns on one day or at the same time. All right. I answer tax correspondence another day. Grouping like projects together helps you get the work done much more quickly. We've got some employee retention credits I need to look at. I'm putting them all off until I have time to do them all at one time. Set deadlines. All right, I set deadlines on everything I do. The pressure to finish on time forces me to eliminate all the fluff and interruptions. I take all my work projects and set a time budget at the beginning of each one. If a client is willing to pay me $1,000 and I want to make $250 an hour, then the project can only take 4 hours. If I don't believe it can be done in 4 hours, I pass on it or I raise my fee. Simple as that. All right. 18, stop trying to be perfect. For most things, good is good enough. Be perfect only if that is crucial to reaching your goal. Very little requires absolute perfection. So that's a problem with most CPAs. We're trained to be perfect. There's an accounting principle called materiality, which means if it's not material, don't waste a lot of time on it. I'm simplifying it. If the truth of the matter is, the cost of getting that last 1% of a project perfect can often be more costly than the cost of completing the first 99%. Don't fall into the perfection trap. Plan each week out in advance. Block the time and don't deviate. Any new appointment must be the following week unless it is clear to me that it's really an emergency. Again, blood or fire better be involved. Number 20, all appointments are scheduled according to your work demands. Block time for appointments that your assistant can fill. When these are filled, they should skip to the next week and they find time that works. Before I started doing this, I had many a week where my staff had me fully blocked and I never got any work done. Who was really in charge here, me or them? So now, truthfully, they can set appointments on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And truthfully, I'm about to back it's a Tuesday and Thursday. That's it. All right. And then, I schedule the others if I want to. Work on the most important things first while you're fresh. This is the biggest secret of the most productive people I know. They start with what is important. If there is any time left when they're done, they move on to the items that are calling out for answers but really have no effect on their bottom line. Streamline your processes. This is important. Okay. I often finish more tax returns in a short amount of time than most people. That's because I give myself a ridiculous deadline and then figure out how to get it done in that allotted time. What has to be done first? What can be delegated? What can be ignored or delayed until later? When you give yourself less time to finish the task, you are forced to focus on what is truly necessary and important. Remember, work always expands to fill the time allotted. This doesn't mean that the quality of the work will get any better. In fact, it often ends up being done at the last minute anyways because you can take your time. Number 23, delegate or outsource everything you can. Delegate parts of projects. I just finished work for company's tax extension deadline. Doing the average tax return takes up to 10 for a corporation. Can take up to 10 to 8 to 12 hours. Okay, about a third of the time is matching last year's tax return and cleaning up obvious errors. This I delegate. Another third of the time requires a higher level review and planning, and I do this job. The final third is putting the information in the program, printing the return, and assembling it. I don't do this. Now I'm only spending about 2 to 3 hours of return while guaranteeing that the quality of the work doesn't suffer. 24, make decisions quickly and firmly. This is a key characteristic of people who accomplish things. They decide quickly and stick with them. They don't waste the time pondering and worrying. They size up the situation as best they can and make a decision. The secret is that very little can't be fixed if they're wrong. Making a wrong decision often helps you learn what the right decision should be next time. Don't ponder. And finally, number 25, results are all that matter. Focus on your goals and make all your decisions with them in mind, keeping the end goal in sight, giving you purpose, and helping you press on to get things completed. This is a big difference between successful people and those that aren't. Successful people complete things that help them reach their goals. They know that all the other tasks are just busy work designed to get in their way, and they treat them with this disdain they deserve accordingly. So here's some things. Rewatch this article. Take some notes. Highlight the items on my list that you feel would work for you and implement them. Nothing will work if you don't implement them. This one went a little long. I did it on purpose because there's a lot of good tips there. But until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. God bless and have a great weekend. Thank you.